They're right, the sweat's coming at me. I will need that iron brew in about 10 minutes.
Hello and welcome to the Wee Bit Feart Podcast. This is a podcast about horror movies, TV shows, horror games and all kinds of spooky stuff. For this first episode, I'm joined today by Ryan, my good friend in real life.
Hello.
Should have also said I'm Jimmy, for those who don't know.
I'm the first guest star making an appearance here in the cabin.
Fucking only.
I'm all back, it's cancelled already. Watch a lot of horror things on YouTube and that as well, like spooky, scary videos and stuff. Some weird stuff, and some, well, no, never mind. Some scary stuff anyway. Like,
it's all legal stuff.
Like spooky videos, jump scares, things like that. Like, we really just like to...
Some ghost videos and stuff. Just stuff, most of the time, we kind of rip the piss out of them. Because sometimes
they're hilarious.
They're fucking hilarious. They're clearly no real things. But sometimes you get a wee bit spooked, and that's what it's all about.
I know.
Gets the heart going.
I was just about to say exactly. Gets the heart racing, gets you a wee bit curious, a wee bit. Well, I feel like I know for a fact that none of this is real. But when you watch a spooky thing, you're then thinking, see when I go home tonight, oh my god, I'm going to have to run up the stairs and get away from this monster or this ghosty or whatever.
The fucking worst thing is driving home yourself. The amount of times that we went and seen a horror film at the cinema and then we've been driving home, fucking shite ourselves because it's pitch black at night, and then we'll drop one of each other off or whatever, head up the road, and then we'll be fucking staring at that fucking windscreen mirror, looking at the back seat, thinking there better be somebody sitting in that back seat, man.
That solo venture for when you drop the other person off to go back to where you stay. Yeah. Terrifying. As soon as you look in that rear view mirror, you just expect to see a wee ghost girl or something jump up at you and get you a fright. Or a clown or some ghoul or ghost or something to jump out at you.
I love it, man. That's what I love. I love being feared.
You love that bit, the scary bit.
I love getting terrified. I don't know what it is. It's like a bit of adrenaline and stuff in it.
It's adrenaline, but you've came a long way as well. When I'm thinking about the first couple of times you went to the cinema and you used to wear a hoodie and would put your hood up and pull the drawstrings that tight watching a horror film that I could no longer see who I was sitting with in the cinema.
I'd be sitting like that, fucking shiting myself. Absolutely terrified.
You peep out for a wee bit of popcorn and then back in.
Right. But anyway, we should talk about what we're doing for this first episode.
That'd be good.
This first episode, we're going to be talking about our favourite horror films from the past decade. So, start from 2010 to 2020. Basically, we're quite big fans of modern style horror films anyway.
Yep.
Obviously, there's like classic films out there like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all the good films that came out in like the 80s and stuff. But
Exorcist and stuff. We do still like all those films.
We still like them, but I would say your kind of bread and butter was modern day stuff. So we thought that would be a good idea to start the first episode like this, so we can kind of give you an idea of what kind of films we like and just our kind of taste in film. As I said, we're going to be talking about different things every episode. We'll probably talk about horror games because we've played a lot of horror games in the past.
We've played them together as well. Sometimes I'd come over here and sit in the cabin and we would either take turns each or now and again.
Most of the time I'd watch you playing them. I'd just give him the controls and I'd just sit here and enjoy the show.
I know, it's pretty much, you'd be like using it like you were watching a film or something like that. or you would do a wee bit and it'd be too much for you. I mean, you've got your own Twitch channel and stuff now, and you go away and do it solo adventure yourself all the time. But I remember some of the earlier ones, you would just pass the controller and be like, you do it. But
it's like
you'd sit
what's
and
a
watch
fucking
and
real life
enjoy it.
streamer in real life, you know what I mean? It's like I get the show for free, so get best seat in the house.
I know. But I feel like most of the horror games are really, really good, but VR horror games is another thing. That is terrifying.
I can't handle VR. I deleted that off my thing, by the way. I've got the VR headset there, but I deleted the app and all the games.
We had quite a few. You had quite a few games we were playing. I don't even remember the name of that one. It was like a haunted house, and you actually threw the VR headset off you because you got to a point where you were like, I cannot do this. You gave it to me, and it was even a struggle for me as well.
I don't think I can. Well, I could probably do it, but it's just too much for me, man. It's too much for me. Like, I even tried to play it myself, so I know there would be need to like fucking like try and give me a fright and touch me, and that just made it even worse. Because I just felt like somebody was there all the time, so I just kept on like fucking ripping it off.
Because then if I was there, you can think, right, there's not, it's him. Yeah, if somebody's got to annoy me or hit me or move me or something, it's going to be Ryan. Whereas if nobody's there, then you're like, see if someone touches me right now, no danger.
Touch hands, man.
Well,
But anyway,
big danger.
Anyway, we can talk about the kind of games and stuff when we do another episode and we talk about strictly horror games. So for this one, it is the best horror films of the decade, and that is our opinion. This is our choices. This isn't based on like reviews. It's not based on what's been awarded the best horror films of the past decade or anything like that. This is purely just our kind of favourite ones that we've seen, whether it been for the film itself or maybe it's been the reaction that we've got out of it. There's certainly a couple from my list that have been that way. I've chosen them because they were fucking terrifying for me at the time of watching them. I've went back and watched some of them and they weren't so bad the next time around, but the first time I watched them I was absolutely terrified.
I know, it could even be just a story or something I've got to do with the film that makes it, and I've got a couple of stories in mind. I could share them later, but maybe not about these films or other films, or I could tell it in another episode. But there's a couple of times where something happens, I don't know what it is, something happens in cinema in a horror film that doesn't, things like that don't happen in other films, which is what I like as well, which is really good. But I'll save that tasty morsel for later.
So we're going to just talk about kind of our top three, not in any particular order, and then we're also going to have some honourable mentions as well, because there has been, it's 10 years, it's a decade worth of horror films, and we obviously couldn't list all of them here in this episode, so we're going to do like our top three each, and then a bunch of films that we also would have been on the list, and they just didn't make the cut. So Ryan, do you want to start off with your first film?
Yep, so the first one that I've got on my list is It Chapter 1, or the first It film. I really liked that. It was back in 2017. Who was it that directed it again? Andy Muschietti, if that's how you say his name, I'm not sure. Muschietti. Let's not start the stereotypes episode 1 and get taken off the air, but he done the film Mama. I've not seen that one, have you?
I don't know if I have. I feel like I might have went to watch it and then I just didn't get around to it.
So I've not actually seen Mama, I've not seen that one, but it's really good. Yep, so will we play the...
So let's go watch it. 2017, directed by Andy Muschietti.
There you go. She's all ready, Captain.
Thanks, Billy. theater's not like any time I've ever been in before. People die or disappear 6 times the national average. And that's just grown-ups. Kids are worse. Way, way worse.
We all float down here.
I saw something. There was this
Clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
look. It's all connected by the sewers. That's where it lives. What happened?
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
So that was that trailer, just the teaser trailer. I think there must have been other trailers out as well, but that was the first one that we saw for that. So when we went to the cinema to see that, I was really looking forward to it. I had watched some of the for the 90s. Did you ever see the?
I never watched it at
Did you
all.
not watch that?
I was going to watch it and then I was just like, I don't want to see it and I don't want to know anything about the story or nothing. So
It's no well. Some people would probably be raging with me saying that, but I felt like it wasn't great. It was okay. It still had some spooky bits, but it was like a TV show, so it wasn't quite as to the extremes as that. But I think that the film was great. The film was brilliant. That's why it's one of my top 3 picks. Is not even just that it's a scary film, which is scary. It's got jump scares. I think it's been more because it's a really good story as well. I know it's come from a book, Stephen King's film.
it's like a kind of like a feel good thing as well, in a way, because it's like the kids all getting together and they're all fucking losers and stuff like that. So
The Losers Club. That's what they call themselves. I hope that there's no spoilers here. I hope everybody's listening to this is
spoiler alert.
spoiler alert.
For every film there's going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen them, go watch them now if you want.
So as soon as we bring up the teaser trailer, we're about to talk about the film straight after it. So if you've not seen that film, you may want to skip forward a bit in that. Well, this is going to be live, isn't it? So either mute us for a bit till you see the next trailer, or skip forward, or if it's on YouTube, or
the VOD for this will be up on my Twitch channel anyway. After I finish the stream, it will be live on the channel for at least 2 weeks. So you can go back and watch this if you want to go and watch the films first.
That film, a couple of standout bits that I always remember. It's got a strong start. As soon as it starts, that scene you saw with Georgie, the wee boy with the yellow raincoat on, I actually went as that for Halloween that year as well.
I think a lot of people did.
I think a lot of people probably did that, but I had my red balloon, had a wee toy boat where he's got it going down the drain, and I had my arm on the inside, so it looked like I had like one arm chewed off. Spoiler, arm gets chewed off. By the first bit, the bit in the sewer, that's terrifying when his face comes up, Pennywise's face comes up at the sewer and grabs him, so it's a scary strong start. That's a running theme with the 3 that I've picked. Most of them, well, 2 out of the 3 of them I can remember, I've got a really good start, jumps right into it. So that bit, also I feel like it blends a bit of comedy in there. I think it's intentional as well. There's some bits that are absolutely hilarious in it.
Some bits are fantastic in it.
Like Richie. Richie's really funny. He's the boy from Stranger Things that's in it.
Yep.
With the glasses and stuff. So he's comic relief in it. But also Pennywise himself. He's meant to be scary, and he is scary. But especially Pennywise's dancing scene in the sewers. When he's doing a wee jig down in the sewers at the end. Oh, don't think I've laughed. I've never had such a laugh at like meant to be the bad guy or the monster in a film. Hilarious.
I wrote that as well. Like, I wrote its moments are amazing, like the weird run and the dancing, etc. Like, it's like the dude who played it, Alex Skarsgård, isn't it?
It's one of the Skarsgårds.
Aye, well, one of the Skarsgårds, he's fucking excellent as it,
Yeah, it's really
and he's terrifying 1 minute, and then the next minute he can kind of, he's just like a clown.
good.
You know what I mean? So it's a good mixture of the way that they play it.
That's probably the point of it, because he is a clown. Clowns are meant to be funny, so they
Mm.
try and mix funny with like horror, scary as well. But yeah, there's a few bits, especially when he looks like a normal clown at 1 minute, and then the next thing his big razor sharp teeth come out, or he's like soul destroying light inside him and stuff like that near the end of the film.
Like when his face stops as well, and like his eyes go the other way,
I know,
and
and
he's just kind of sitting there drooling for a second. You're like, oh fuck, this is weird, man.
it is really weird, and the actor can actually.
He does
Whatever
that.
it is, Skarsgård, so one of the Skarsgårds, can't remember. Probably should have known that. And he can actually make one eye go to the side and one eye go the other way, which is it's really cool. They didn't need to totally CGI it. I think they exaggerate it, but
It's probably been exaggerated, but he's fucking fantastic, I think.
he's really good. And all the kids in it as well. I get total Stranger Things vibes. If anybody's watched Stranger Things, it's good kid actors. It's a really strong story. It's obviously came from a book, but it's really really good. And another mention for it as well, I wanted to bring up, especially Eddie, the wee kid you probably saw in the trailer there. It's got the inhaler. He's like a big hypochondriac, and I feel like if I was in the Losers Club, I would be most like him. So I'm terrified of hurting myself or getting unwell or sick or things like that. So that'd be me. Is there anything that you remember for that you wanted to
Oh, actually, like,
mention?
I didn't want to write too much because this was like your kind of choice for it. So the only two things I've wrote is like every Clint is great. So like every actor, everybody that's in it, I felt was fantastic, man.
Agree with that.
And as I said before, like the Pennywise's moments are just, I mean, the way he moves his body and the way he does all these things in between being scary and being funny, it's just, it's just no, I can't really fault it in any way. I reckon there's going to be a lot of people that have seen the original or that are big fans of like Stephen King's novels and stuff. They're going to hear different thoughts. So like, this wasn't in the film for the book, or this was different than that, but there's always going to be things like that. Whenever a book becomes a film, vice versa, it's always going to be changed. You're not going to see here. It has to be adapted because you've got a book that lasts hours and hours. It has to be cut down into a 2-hour, 1.5 hour film. So I don't know. I didn't read the book. I didn't watch the original film. I just watched that on its own, and I thought it was fantastic. So I'm happy with it.
Really good. I would say It Chapter 1 was my choice over It Chapter 2, although I thought they perfectly cast Part 2. Everybody was perfectly what I thought the kids would be like when they're older, but there was it's just something missing for the second one. It didn't feel the same, but that always happens with the sequels, doesn't it?
The cast for the second one was unbelievable. Like when you think about the characters in the first one and just the way that the kids look and the way that the other ones look, it's like the only one was James McAvoy. He was the one that I didn't feel he was the same. He was
just
totally different.
The big star just to get the draw.
He just felt like a big draw, but the rest of them I felt were spot on. Especially the comedian one.
Aye,
he was amazing. I thought that was good.
She's 1 minute older. And Jessica Chastain, I think it was, played Beverly when she was older. She was like perfect for it as well. So it was really good casting for the second one, but it was just some of the feel for the first one. I was so excited for the first one. It's saying that it came out in like September. It was like for January, February, or whenever that first teaser came out. I was excited for it, like the whole of 2017, like waiting on it. So I know that as we're going through this, there'll be folk that really like the horror films, or they've maybe watched a lot more horrors than us. We might be picking the like the mainstream. It might seem like we're picking loads of mainstream or like the easy picks, but they are good films, or we think they're good films.
There's not too many like indie picks on the list that we made, but that's for good reason. It's because it was the way that we felt. This is all just our personal opinions and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
so how would you rate it then? A wee bit fear, to a wee bit fear, and then in between.
So, on that rating scale, I would probably say a wee bit fear, because I didn't feel really scared, really like jump scare, like getting a fright, stuff like that. But if we're rating it on how good a film it is, I'd probably give it, let's say 5 jimmies. I'd give it 4 jimmies.
Fantastic, man. I'm the same. I'm the same. Like, it wasn't like one where I was terrified throughout the entire film. It had its good moments, but it was mainly a good film rather than a great horror. You know what I mean? So I agree with that. I agree with that.
So it wasn't a dud pick. You liked it as well.
I'm happy with that choice.
Good stuff. So what's your first pick then? What's the first one you liked?
So for my first pick of the episode, it is going to be Paranormal Activity 3. It came out in 2011. It was directed by Henry Joost. He also did Paranormal Activity 4, and he also did the film Nerve, which I haven't actually seen.
I've not seen that either.
I've seen like the trailer for it and it looked alright, but I've never seen that. So here we go. This is the trailer for Paranormal Activity 3.
Alright, here we go. Hey, ladies. Hi. Hey. Oh, it's Katie. Woo-hoo-hoo. Katie, wave hi to the camera, Katie. Hey, Christy, you want to say hi? Come on, give us a wave here, Christy.
Whatever happened to us when we were little, I don't remember anything.
Whatever it was, it thrived on fear. The more we paid attention to it, the worse it got.
Okay, I think it's on. Remember the rules? Yes. Say Bloody Mary 3 times. Okay, I'm gonna turn off lights. Okay, you ready? Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. I'm scared. Stop! I'm sorry. It's not funny.
So that was a trailer for Paranormal Activity 3. I should kind of premise, is that the word? Can you say
Yeah.
the majority of things that happened in that trailer either weren't in the film or they were snippets for Paranormal 1 and 2. So the trailer is terrible, but it's the only trailer that I could actually find for number 3. I think it was because it was like, it wasn't a big studio that brought it out, and so they were just doing like wee teaser clips. So the only thing you can find is like that kind of stuff, or like fan made stuff. So I would recommend going and actually watching the film, because that trailer isn't really an indication of what the film is like at all. It's just wee bits of the story for the first 2 films, and then the Bloody Mary scene is actually in the film, but that's not how it goes in the film either.
No, it's
So
different.
the trailer is a bit.
It's a bit different than that, but I do remember that trailer, and then go to see the film and coming out saying, where was that bit? That never happened. Like there was like 3 or 4 trailers I think came out for it, and hardly anything for the trailer actually happened in the film.
The thing is, the film itself
It was good.
is good, and it's got so much more than what was in that thing. So honestly, go and watch it. So I did write some notes about it. First off, so you see right at the start there, these wee lassies, which are the 2 main characters for the film. They're the first 2, like these 2 girls are the 2 women for Paranormal Activity 1. This is them as kids. So this film goes back to 1988 when they're kids, and this is kind of how all the paranormal activity started when they were younger. First thing I wrote is the wee lassie is shite at trampolines. I remember being that age Here a trampoline here where this cabin used to stand. I used to have a like garden. I had the trampoline. I was doing backflips and shit. I was doing front flips, doing all the mad twirl things. In the film, she's like, Dad, watch me. And then she jumps up, lands on her arse, and then that's it. And I'm like, what? You're shite at trampoline hen. So that was my first note. So can you start that a bit negative?
Big insight there.
There's a trampoline scene and she shited it. That's the big insight. Spoilers. She shite at trampolining. Right? I've also wrote the wee ones, the younger one who is it Katie? What's the other one?
I think Katie's the older one.
Katie's the older one. And Christy, she's the younger one. She's fucking creepy right for the start of the film.
Aye.
Like in the film she's made it to be like the wee cute one and all that, but the majority of the time she's so fucking creepy in that film. It's fucking terrifying.
I've not watched it in a while, but the bits I can remember. Actually, the wee girl's the one that starts it off, and she's the creepy one.
She's the one that can kind of see things and has like an imaginary friend and all that.
What's his name again? Do you remember?
Toby.
Toby's
his name is like an imaginary friend. Whereas like the older one thinks it's all like made up and that. She's like, it's just an imaginary, like stop fucking messing about and all that. So that wee one, she's fucking triggered right for the start, man.
I think the whole film, he's just raging because folk are calling him Toby and his name's Tobias. That's just that. They've just shortened his name and he doesn't like it.
But that's what I'm scared of. Like the characters in it, there's so it's like obviously the two wee girls. Then there's like a mum and a dad. The dad isn't the real dad. He's like our stepdad. But like you wouldn't be like he's good at playing the father, and I think he's a good role. And he is like, his job is like a video camera. He's a cameraman. He does like weddings and stuff like that.
AV man.
And he has like this like wee personal assistant guy, or like just a guy that works for him, like an apprentice, younger guy.
He's hilarious.
And he's hilarious, man. Whatever wrote. The camera apprentice is good.
Well, the thing I remember is because it's
fucking right, he'd quit because at some point he quits the job for good fucking reason, man. For good fucking reason.
That's actually a bit of sense in a horror film for a change.
Aye, that's the thing as well. It's like most things scary things happen in a horror film. They just keep going. It's like, get yourself fucking out of there, and he does it at some point in the film, and we'll talk about that. But the characters are good. Should I perhaps tell them what happens? I kind of don't want to spoil it too much. I feel like with it you already kind what it is. It's like Pennywise, it's a clown, but with this it's kind of like,
just spoil it. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear the ending or what's happening in the story, skip away, look away.
Skip it. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. No, but so the wee lassie keeps on seeing this Toby imaginary guy throughout the film. Parents and that didn't believe it. Turns out he actually is a mad paranormal ghost sort of thing. But throughout the film, like, just wee subtle things will happen. Like, so they set up cameras around the house to try and capture what's going on, because like things like the alarms are going off, the doors are unlocking by themselves. So they put the cameras around, and it's always just wee subtle things that's no too bad. But there's like at certain moments in the night and stuff, there'll be like a loud bass rumbling and stuff will be happening at that time, and it's like the parents can't really hear it, but the kids will hear it, like especially that Christy, the younger one, and she'll be running about with Toby, who's not there and stuff. But at one point the parents have to go away out, so they get a babysitter in. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember a bit about the babysitter.
So like she comes in and is like, she's just playing with them stuff, and then eventually tries to get them to go to bed, and she goes to like walk away from the bedroom, and the door kind of slides open a wee bit, so she goes to like go and see what's going on, and it's like she just gets like blown away. Like, no, she doesn't like physically move, but it's like somebody just like
a monster
a big
roar or
gusty
something.
wind, like a roar, like hitting her right in the face and stuff. And it blows her t-shirt kind of a wee half bit open. Eventually, the parents come home and like she's like, I just want the money, just let me go. And she's cool as fuck about it. Like, if that was me, I'll be out of there. But I've left her wings in red. They're on their own. I'm out here. But she sticks around. She stays in the house even though that happened. And like the video guy, like the dad, he tries to show it to the apprentice, and he's like, "Well, I fucking show me videos of the babysitter and all that." But like, then he sees that shit happening. He's like, "Well," he starts to think it's real at this point. But he's still not quite sure until the fucking probably the best moment in the film, which fucking got me a belter, man.
You'll need to remind me. I remember the guy and he quits, and I remember something happens to him. But go and remind me what actually happens to him again.
So like in that trailer when they do Bloody Mary, he does the apprentice guy. He does the Bloody Mary with one of the Waynes.
Right.
It's Katie, it's the older one. So she doesn't really believe in it, and he doesn't really believe in the stuff either. And they two go into the bathroom and do the Bloody Mary. And the first time they do it, nothing happens. He's like, "No, fuck, like, let's just go." And she's like, no, do it again, come on, it'll work, whatever. Don't know why I don't know why you would do that. If I'm not doing that, I'm fucking 27-year-old, I'm not doing that. If I was a Wayne, what the fuck?
If you were in, let's say, you had a pal that had a kid, and their kid was like, "Can you come and do Bloody Mary with me in the mirror? A ghost's meant to come and get us."
No chance, man, no
You'd
chance.
nope.
Honestly, I would not do that.
Get practicing on your trampoline and leave me alone.
Aye. But so they do it again, and this time he kind of like screams out a wee bit, and he puts the camera, because he's got like the camera recorder with him, and he's got like a scratch on him, and she's like, "Are you alright?" And he's like, "Ah, it's fine." Like, he's trying to be like calm, you can tell he's trying to be cool about it, and he's trying to let her see what's going on. And he's like, "Come on, let's just get out of here." So they try to get out the door, and when he opens the door, something goes past the opening of the door, and then everything starts going mental. It's like an earthquake basically. But it's like all the chairs and the tables, everything starts flying about everywhere. Something keeps battering the door, the handles are gone. She's like, the wee kid's screaming, and he's kind of like, fuck, he's gone crazy and all that, man.
Yeah.
And eventually it all calms down, he gets out, and he just goes straight down the stair, sees the dad, he's like, "I'm fucking out, I quit, I'm gone," and that's it. He's
I'm out of here.
But I was like, fucking right you would, man. Why would you stick around there for something like that happens, know what I mean?
I know, you wouldn't not even wait for your P45.
No, what the fuck? This was back when fucking it was cash in hand, and everyone else that would be like, "Just didn't bother, I'm out. I'm not waiting for you to go to the bank and get money," you know what I mean? I was gonna write, there's a bit where it's like they get fucking high in the bed and like go to sleep, and it's like because they're high.
Who gets high?
The mom and the dad. At one point they get high, right? But like they smoke weed and that, but it's like they clearly, the consumer actors have never been higher for. Like, it's the stereotypical shit, man. It's bullshit. I fucking hated that scene.
I actually can't even remember that scene, so that tells you everything.
Just fucking...
The only bit I do remember, I don't know if you've got that or you remember this bit, but because the way the house is set up, you're saying about the cameras, and he's got the cameras moving and stuff, and you said about the shaky, well, it's like a mini earthquake you can feel it coming. That's when you know there's spooky shenanigans are happening when it starts shaking. And there's one where it starts doing it, and then it pans to the bedroom, and the two kids are in bed. Remember, like we're saying, the small one's the wee creepy one, and she gets up and starts walking along like the banister at the top of the stairs.
Aye.
And I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Aye, she walks along the banister and then fucking loops off it, and then she's alright. It's like, fucking hell, man.
Aye, that's
there's one more part in that film that was fantastic. And it's the last thing I'll talk about, was like, they have a camera on top of like a fan, like a cooling fan, so they've took the cooling fan off the top of it and put a camera there, so it like rotates, so it goes between like the living room and then the kitchen really slowly. And for like this one scene, it keeps doing it. It does it like 4 or 5 times, and it's like the whole time the mum's like, she's on the phone and stuff, she's walking in between the rooms, you see her, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then at this last bit, she's in the living room on the phone, walks back to the kitchen, and she kind of stops, and you're looking, you're like, something's different about the kitchen, and she's the same. She kind of thinks like, what's going on here? Something's different. And then like fucking boom, everything fucking falls through the roof. Like the table, the fucking kettle, the chairs, everything just drops in front of you and gets destroyed. But it's like when you're watching it, even though you can something's going to happen because it keeps panning, it keeps going round and round, you know something's going to happen and you didn't even see it.
I know.
You're looking for something and then it's just fucking whoof, and it's fucking fantastic.
It's really good. I like films like that, and especially I like bits like that in a film where it's like leading up. It's a classic horror film, and you know the bad bit's coming, you know the scary bit's coming, and you're waiting for it, and then it's even better that way where you miss something and you don't realise it, and then it just hits you. And it's really good.
But I wrote on, I think it says at the end, because they moved to their grandma's house, because they're like, nah, we don't want to be here anymore, fuck this place, let's go back and stay with my grandma.
That's how it ends.
And but you see the granny in a fucking mad shed thing at the back, and there's loads of cunts out there.
It's like a cult thing, eh?
Aye, so I wrote, is it a granny cult or dried up fanny club? Because it's just an old folk man, it's like, what the fuck's going on? But some mad cult, and that's how it fucking ends. And then number 4, Disney.
Number 4 is nothing to do with it really. It's a
Number
totally
4
different
nothing to do
story.
with it,
But,
but obviously this is a prequel, so
aye.
this is before. But when they're older in the first and second films, they don't remember that shit. So
I think there is a link in the fourth. Like the other ones, there's always a link to the previous ones, but the fourth and fifth and stuff, they're not so good after that. The original, although that was out with our 10 years we were talking about, the original was like the first film that affected me seeing it at the cinema, and I actually had a light on while I was sleeping that night when I went home for the first one. And a lot of folks say the first Paranormal Activity was terrible.
A lot of folk hate all the Paranormal Activity films,
I know,
but I fucking love them, man.
I've probably got people like, why he's picking Paranormal Activity, but the first and the third ones are great. The first one I had to sleep with the light on after it. It affected me.
I love them. Like up to 3 I like it. After 3 it was like, nah, it's not for me.
So next one that I have picked is, and I've picked this because I know you really like it as well. This is one that I know the two of us loved, and we always come back to this saying this is like the cinema horror that we both like loved seeing, and we've watched it a good 3 or 4 times each since then. The Conjuring. So The Conjuring was out, or The Conjuring if you're
Conjuring
if you're posh. That was out in 2013, directed by James Wan. So James Wan,
number 1.
James Wan, not James 2. James Wan. He's been involved in some Saw films, the Insidious series a bit as well. He's been involved in all the Conjuring universe, so it spawned all the Annabelle films and The Nun and all those sort of films as well. I think they're bringing out more of films in that universe as well.
Yep.
But The Conjuring was the first one, so let's watch the trailer for The Conjuring, then we can talk about it.
Let's do it.
Right, it's 9:18. We're headed down into the cellar where the doors just opened on its own. Give us a sign that you want to communicate with us. Nothing.
What are you guys?
Well, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
There's someone here that would like to talk to you.
There's something horrible happening in my house.
It's November 1st, 1971. I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences. You picking up anything in here, hon?
Something awful happened here, Ed.
What is it? Whatever Lorraine sees, feels, touches, it takes a toll on her. A little piece each time.
You have a lot of spirits in here, but there's one that I'm most worried about because it is so hateful.
It's not gonna help.
This thing has latched itself to your family.
Father, we never seen nothing like this.
I'm coming with you.
No way. I can't lose you.
There's a lady in a dirty nightgown that I see in my dreams. She's standing in front of my mom's bed. Do you want to see him?
Yeah?
When the music stops, you see him in the mirror standing behind you.
Look what she made me do.
So that was The Conjuring. Definitely one of my favourite horror films seen at the cinema that I've ever seen at the cinema.
Me too.
Quite a while ago, 2013. Still holds up. I could still watch that again. Just watching that trailer, I'm like, I need to watch that again. I've not watched that in a while.
It's brilliant, man.
It's got great jump scares. You saw there with the music box and stuff. That's that as well as other ones. There's good jump scares where it drags on just that bit too long, and then it gets you. It's really good. Even showed you. I've wrote down some things, but mine isn't as good in order as when you were going through yours. But the bit you saw in the trailer there, where the demon or the girl with the dirty like pajamas or whatever was up in the wardrobe. She jumped off. That bit felt about 10 times worse in the cinema. Like
I believe they did it different in the film. Like it jumped at you rather than you seeing it jump down.
I jumped down onto the girl there in the trailer, didn't it? But it was like it was jumping towards you a bit more than it felt like in the actual film. And I pretty much jumped at my seat. I think Tui's jumped at her seat, and you just withdrew into your hoodie shell at that point. So that's when you always knew it was a good one. So it was really good. So it's pretty much, just in case anybody hasn't seen it or want to share what's happening for the trailer, they're that family, the mum and they have like 5 kids or something like that. So the family move into that house. It's a classic haunted house. I've moved in, paranormal beings in the house, or it's haunted. Stuff's happened previously, and it just progressively gets worse for them when they're staying in that place. But I love the characters. The Warrens, who, if I'm right in saying, were a real paranormal investigators.
So this has been like a topic that I've spoken about recently as well with people in the like a horror chat that I'm in. Like people are kind of like they don't know what to think. Like loads of people don't like them at all, and they didn't like the film just because they're in it.
Right.
But I feel like it doesn't really matter what you think, if they were real or if they were just faking it. Like films are still fucking great horror films, so
if you enjoy it, enjoy it.
I've wrote like it doesn't matter what you think about them. The actors were still great at it, and even if it is like made up bullshit, it's still a good fucking film. Know what I mean? Like, because it just like based on true events and all that. But obviously they're gonna fucking Hollywood it up. You know what I mean? And exaggerate it a bit.
Everything's exaggerated a bit. I would say, although I'm praising the film, the mum getting possessed bit at the very end, I don't think it's as strong as the rest of the film. Like, it's still good, but most of the scares and the good bits are in like the first half of the film, I would say. Because I love like the hide and clap game. There's a bit, I think it's in one of the trailers, where they're like, you go hide, and the kids are getting used to their new house. Like, you go hide and I'll clap when I'm hiding and you have to try and find me. So it's like blindfolded. It's like you used to play
like hide and seek
blindfolded when you were younger, but they clap when they're like, you're getting warmer. So instead of saying warmer, which we do, they'll be like clap clap, and you have to follow the sound. And then the mum's playing it with them.
The mum's playing it with the wee
and it leads her down into the cellar, and it's like the lights go out, and it's just you just imagine if that happened. She's like, right, I'm looking for you, clap again, and the clap's right behind her, loud as anything. You know the kids are there. The kids are either hiding somewhere or whatever. She's going into a dark cellar, and the lights go out, and you just hear the clap clap right behind her.
In the film, it's like all the kids are away apart from one of them, and she hears it upstairs, in that closet. See that closet where the demon jumps off of?
That's
where she hears the clap. So she thinks the kid is in the closet. And then she's like, I got you. Clears out all the clues. And then the wee kid comes running out for like behind. He's like, hi, you weren't even close to me, I was downstairs. And the mom's like, what the fuck, where did that clap just come from? So it's like, they do it a good few times in that film and it's
really effective, it's good.
It's fantastic, man. I have this wrote clap clap equals perfect. In my notes.
Clap clap gets a clap clap.
Fucking clap for me, man, honestly. But I like the film, like, early on, it starts off like slow, but it also like hits hard as well. Because it's like, to create the story, they start it off so right early on, they complain about like bad smells and it's always cold and the clocks are always stopping at 3. And these are just kind of the
start.
It's one of
the worst, the first bad thing that happened is a dog now get killed.
Fucking right to start, the dog dies. It's like,
nah, it's time to move back. Well, let's move out of this house as soon as that happens. But I also really like that it sets up. Spoiler, dog's dead. Woof.